Since the Durant trade, Houston has gotten plenty of attention, and rightfully so. But Phoenix has gotten barely any. So we decided to take a deeper look at Jalen Green, the second overall pick from 2021. Fans seem to be disturbed that the Suns couldn't get a bigger haul for KD. Truth is, the Suns clearly prioritized Jalen Green in this trade and were willing to stay away from other assets in order to acquire him. A guy who is widely criticized for being a bad shot taker with poor analytic stats. But is the harsh criticism warranted? Very few 23-year-olds average 21 points per game and can jump out a building like Jalen Green.
Whoa! Super duper athletic. He's in a whole different league.
Great start for him in this one. Sets the pick for Green. Ends up losing and slams it down.
Last season, Green was the leading shot taker and leading scorer for the Rockets, their highest usage player and their highest volume three-point shooter by a wide margin. At 6'4", he played a shooting guard about 80% of the time and filled in for Van Vliet at point the other 20% of the time. To understand his game, we made this chart of a number of the top scoring guards in the league and compared their shot distribution to Jalen's this past season. Jalen Green shot nearly half his shots from three and wasn't particularly good at shooting from deep, just about 35% below league average. That was on over 8 attempts per game. Green was also amongst the league leaders in shooting off the dribble, not a guy that plays within the flow of the offense. Instead, Green was looking to get his own shot, often. Though Green's efficiency stats were below league average, his shooting profile is that of a guy that takes the vast majority of his shots in analytically sound spots of the floor, nearly half from three and about 20% from within 3 feet of the rim. A shooting profile that is comparable to guys like Anthony Edwards and Donovan Mitchell, two of the top scoring guards in the league right now. While Green's lack of feel in the mid-range could be an area of concern, we actually believe the contrary. The way he scores will complement Devin Booker, the mid-range maestro, very well. A key is Jalen is going to have to improve his three-point shooting, and with time, he likely will. If Green is taking half his shots from three-point range, he's going to need to become a league-average three-point shooter, at least to become an efficient offensive player. However, he's definitely not someone who should be looked at as a creator for other players. When we compare his playmaking stats to the other guards, we see that Green had the lowest assist percentage in the entire group, a black hole, so to speak. It's not ideal, but the way the NBA is trending in recent years, that might not be as bad as you think. Jaylen Brown of the Celtics had a very comparable asset percentage last season, when the Celtics won the title as Green did this season. The fact that Brown was able to limit his turnovers played in the Celtics' favor, and Jalen Green might be similar in that regard. His 11.4% turnover rating is very low for a player his age with such high usage, though some might argue that Green needs to improve his playmaking skills. I don't actually see it that way. If he can provide scoring at an adequate level while not turning over the ball, he could be a valuable player in today's league. Where Green does excel is that he is freakishly athletic. This chart here compares how frequently each scorer got to the rim as well as their finishing ability once they get there. In terms of getting to the rim, Jalen Green is in elite company, only trailing SGA, Ja Morant, and Jalen Williams. But once he gets there, he's only about average at finishing, another area that he can likely improve with added size and strength. Speaking of which, this chart shows how often each scorer draws fouls in comparison to how often they get to the rim. Aside from Booker, who gets to the free throw line by drawing fouls in the mid-range, there's generally a strong correlation between free throw rate and rim attacking. SGA and Ja Morant are two guys that are constantly getting close to the bucket and getting to the line. Jalen Green, on the other hand, hasn't figured out how to translate his ability to get in close into free throw attempts. He has a free throw rate that compares closely to players that get to the rim far less than him. Once Jalen Green adds some girth and stats looking for contact, it's going to benefit him greatly. Those added free throw attempts will help his scoring and true shooting percentages get above league average. Sure, Green remains very raw on offense, but he shows the potential to become the second scoring option to Booker, much like Jaylen Brown to Jason Tatum or Jalen Williams to SGA. If you need a Robin, you should find a Jalen. Green's usage should come down slightly as the second scorer to Booker. However, he's going to need to show that he is more than just a scorer in order to help the Suns win. He's not a playmaker, so he's going to need to become an impact player on the defensive end. And he's already showing signs that he has that ability. While Green was below average defending the perimeter, he showed upside on players in the mid-range and close to the basket. He wasn't getting a lot of deflections, but he contested a lot of shots last season. For the Suns to truly improve, they're going to need to build a team that can defend and win the turnover battle. Offense wasn't the problem this past season. The team lacked hustle. They weren't forcing turnover, they weren't recovering loose balls, and they weren't contesting shots. The Suns were one of the worst teams at preventing opponents from getting easy baskets at the rim. Their offense will most likely take a hit after losing KD, but it could still be decent enough on the back of Devin Booker. Where they're really going to need to make a stark improvement to make the playoffs is on the other end of the court. I think Jalen Green is the type of guy that will have to use his athleticism to make a positive impact there. I don't think he has the feel on offense to be elite, but he has the makeup to be a really good secondary scorer who can get buckets and not turn it over. If he can evolve into an impact perimeter defender as well, the Suns could find a new identity in the years to come. To summarize, Jalen Green doesn't really need to change his game at all to fit in beside Devin Booker in Phoenix. He just needs to improve his three-point shooting, look for contact so he can draw more fouls, and evolve himself into an impact defender. And he can become a really nice backcourt tandem with Booker. Now, what to do with Bradley Beal remains a whole other story, but we'll save that for another video. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more sports news and insights.